Buddy, I think I'm probably live. Let me refresh. What's going down? What's going down, everybody? Hi. Lady QAnon Bear 3.3. I love the 3.3. It's hysterical. Beethoven was like Clint Eastwood. Mozart with like Toby. Yeah. I had a lot to say about old Mozart last night. I was laughing with my mom this morning. At this point, how I view Hollywood and the media, I wouldn't be surprised if Mozart stole from Salieri. My friend was in that movie. I'm going to ask her if she has some suspicions. All right, today is called episode 825, pre and post programming for the holocough. I got a little funny story. So I was texting with a very famous friend of mine. Don't try and guess. It doesn't matter. The only reason I'm saying that is because it's a funny story about how I'm trying to piece things together. Because I'm trying to like throw out some of these ideas to people with a big audience just to plant some seeds in case they ever want to tell their people, ever want to try and free the shackles of their people. And so I texted him one of the videos I'm about to show you guys today from 2003, a Dead Zone episode that says exactly the holocaust, what we're experiencing now. Patton Oswalt, no, I don't communicate with people that I allege potentially murdered their wife. I don't know that to be true. I just think it's possible. But so I'm texting with this dude. I sent him that, and he writes, "Oh, my phone's inside." He writes, "Oh wow, that's wild!" Exclamation point. And then I proceed to go on like a 5-paragraph explanation of reality, where I'm like, I don't know if it's collective consciousness and I'm just going on and on. And then he just never wrote back. I just see like the 3 like dots come up like he's writing back, and then he didn't write back. And so when you're ladling the gravy, I recommend, and I know this because of experience, simmer that gravy for a bit. Like have them ask questions first before you like dive into the concept of pre and post programming. So how we've all been there? Yeah. I do that sometimes. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, he's interested. So anyway, this is what I believe. I think the collective consciousness, man, I'm going on and on, and then just, you got to drip feed that gravy. Roman Polanski? No, it wasn't Roman Polanski, who, by the way, was 5'2". You know Roman Polanski was 5'2"? Something to think about. Anyway. All right, so let's talk about, is Hairy Bear or Armenian Werewolf Bear here yet? Hairy Bear, where are you? Too much gravy at one time may cause bloating. Yes. Is Armenian Werewolf Bear here or Hairy Bear? I'll wait for 30 seconds. I'm just trying to engage with Armenian Werewolf Bear or Hairy Bear. Good morning, Big Bear. I don't think Hairy Bear saw it yet. Okay, well, is Hairy Bear here or Armenian Werewolf Bear? Calling Armenian Werewolf Bear and Hairy Bear. Okay, it doesn't matter. They'll see it later. All right. Well, here we go. We have Kurt Metzger, who my mom and I were just talking about yesterday, who did that Rogan with me when they were trying to flank me. Well, turns out, breaking news, comedian Kurt Metzger. Dude, this is what the Grabbler does to me all the time. They put comedian in quotes to try and make it seem like I'm not a comedian. I love when it's done the other direction. I just get a kick out of it. So anyway, Hairy Bear, Armenian Werewolf Bear. You may want to know that Kurt Metzger says it was a good thing the Armenian genocide happened. Comedian Kurt Metzger said it was a good thing the Armenian genocide happened. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I know some of you guys would say, but Big Bear, he's breaking political correctness. He's being ballsy. There's nothing ballsy about just unloading on the Armenians. It's ballsy to talk about another genocide, a genocide involving the people that write his checks. It doesn't take any balls whatsoever to do some fun irony or juxtaposition. I know he probably structured the joke. I have no idea what the joke is, but it's good it happened because then now I get it. Let's see him do that with another genocide. So anyway, just calling all Armenians, and I'm just letting you guys know what's going on. Kurt Metzger said it is a good thing that the Armenian genocide happened. Just letting you guys know. Just filling you guys in that he said that. Not telling you anything else. Just Hairy Bear may want to know that. Same with Armenian Werewolf Bear. Wonder if he thinks it was a good thing your great grandma was also raped. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to stoke emotions or anything, but I'm just, All right, that dude's annoying. He kept talking over you. Yeah, he's a disaster. All right, so what else we got here? You know how the Indians would always say that the world is on the back of a turtle, and everybody always says like, "Oh, they're such retards. How can How could the world be created on the back of the turtle?" Well, does anyone want to know like what that means? That's why information is always so valuable, because you could always demonize hundreds of millions of people or billions of people, or say they're wrong, I'm right, and then you start beating your genitalia in your mommy's basement. Or, you can figure stuff out. So here's something really interesting. The back of the turtle is a clock. 13 moons and 28 days on all turtle shells. That, by the way, that's the calendar we should have. We currently have 12 months. It should be 13 months. This equals 364 days plus 1 day of rest. All indigenous people around the world knew the wisdom of the turtle and followed a 13-month calendar. After all, there are 13 moon cycles in a year and 27 to 29 days per cycle. It's almost as if see, I don't like this part. I don't like that putting it on the white man. I call them squirt boys because it's not about white or Indian. White is a construct of the grab, or it's a corporate designation. But I'm just letting you know, it's almost as if white man it's a specific type of white man subtracted 1 month in order to sever connection between the people and the sun, moon, and stars, which are themselves a giant clock. So if anybody wants to know what it actually means when someone says the earth rests on the back of a turtle, what they're trying to tell you is that is how they kept time. And as you may or may not know, the Mayan calendar is more accurate than the Gregorian or the Julian calendar. I'm not hating on my race, guys. Just letting you guys know that white men ruin everything. No, white man does not ruin everything. It's just we have been taught for the last 100 years. The last 100 years have been really bad for people because we're not taught anything useful. We're taught a bunch of lies, and we're taught a bunch of stuff where that they make you a pit and a pendulum where it's like turtle gravy for sure. Yeah, that's all it meant. When it's like the earth is on the back of a turtle, that's what it means. 13 months. Look at this. I'll read it again. 13 moon. Oh, and speaking of sun, moon, and stars, I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Dave Weiss, who has an app called Sun, Moon, and Stars. It's a great app. If you'd like to see just how joyous a Jew can actually be when they reject their grabbly nature and put it towards good, here is just the happiest little bastard you will ever see. Here's Weiss.
Jared wants you to video me. He wants to see it.
I am videoing.
Oh, you are videoing me.
So unlike his,
oh boy.
Unlike some of the people that are part of his ethnic heritage, he will use the money that you buy his app for to have a great time with a unicycle. Here he comes. Here comes Weiss again.
I'll just come up behind you. You can start riding. But he's
Hi, Jared. Hi, Missa. I guess, Jared, you're talking to him right now, so I'm filming him talking to you, doing this thing.
It's a Jew on a unicycle, guys. Little known fact, unicycles have caused more death than the coronavirus in the last 3 months. So the Junicycle you just witnessed. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to call it a fact. It's implied, because unicycle is better than rollerblades. Yes, there's been 9 Jews have died in the last month because of a unicycle accident. Is Hairy Bear here yet, or Armenian Werewolf Bear? Explains a lot. The good alternative of it, the clown, a cosmic turtle, and Stephen. Dude, that's all the turtle meant. Is it was a watch. It might as well have been a timepiece. One of the best spell breakers spell-breaking technologies I've seen developed by a legend would be Crow 777 calling it the sky clock. Astronomy, lie. Astrology, lie. Okay, so both of those fields have been so unbelievably corrupted that if you say, wow, I really like to look at the sun and the moon and the stars, if you say it's astrology, you're lying. You're not lying, but you're speaking falsities. If you say it's astronomy, you're also speaking falsity. So if you just simply say that's a clock in the sky, it doesn't step on people's cosmologies. It doesn't step on God. It doesn't step on anything. And by the way, it's exactly how people used to view it. That when Mercury was doing one thing, or when something like a comet would represent a new era, blah, blah, blah. Astrology is not lies, but you need to work with a real astrologer, not some Cosmo magazine. The way astrology is presented to us is lies. The way astronomy is presented to us is lies. Oh, werewolves in the house? Hey, Armenian werewolf bear. I just throwing this out there. Breaking. Kurt Metzger, comedian Kurt Metzger, says it was a good thing the Armenian genocide happened. I don't know. I'm not trying to tell you how to feel or anything, but, you know, as an Armenian, he thinks it's great your great-grandma was raped and left in a desert to die by the growler. You know, I'm not telling you how to feel. All right. 1.5 million does sound a little high. No, I think the Armenian genocide was actually one of the more accurate depictions of human horror. Let's see if Metzger wants to tackle another one. You were just talking about him? I know. This is how the world works. All right. So now I got some more stuff for you. Would you like to start talking about pre-programming? Here's one of my, a movie I always liked. I love that Vox doesn't like the movie because I totally understand why. There's a grab or tone of cynicism. But I've always liked The Princess Bride. And so here is some very interesting pre-programming. And the conversation today in the chat, I'm not saying how this works because I don't know how it works. Just being honest with you, I'm still simmering the gravy. I don't know how the relationship with art and pre-programming and consciousness works. I know there's connections. I have no idea how it works. I'm in the middle of watching All's Fair in Love on Amazon Prime. BB, how much of this did you write? Seems like you had your hand in it. I wrote most of my own lines. Oh, how dare you? Did I get writing credit? No, of course not. I don't need writing credit. They would write really stupid shit, and then I would make it funny. And they let me do it because they knew I was funnier than the writers. It's all good. You know, we had a low budget for the movie. We had a good time. Spiritual connections. Yeah, like I wrote the song in it. I wrote all kinds of stuff. Did I get writing credit? No, because I'm not a grabber. Only grabbers get writing credit. Okay, so anyway, this is very interesting. So here we have some dialogue in The Princess Bride. So when Fezzik the giant asked him why he wears a mask, was he burned by acid? He said, no, it's just that they're terribly comfortable. I think everyone will be wearing them in the future. I'm going to make a case that you can't look away from. This is just the beginning of the presentation I'm about to do. And then, of course, the giant, because he's a giant, and giants know everything. Not everything, but a lot. He says, you be careful. People in masks cannot be trusted. Okay, now we're about to watch something. Oh, big laughs. I know. Duncan Trussell was burned by acid. Interesting. What got the big laughs? What got the big laughs? Did you see the guy wearing the KKK hood out shopping? Yeah, I just see it as a hood. I don't know. Holy moly, that's some gravy. You ain't seen nothing yet, kids. Here is a edited plot line of a show from 2003 called The Dead Zone. Here we go. You guys want some gravy? Time to ladle. And again, here before I even say this, bear in mind all the details are exact. But before I ladle this gravy, just know I, Owen Benjamin Smith, have no idea how this works. I have some assumptions, some opinions, some views, some hypotheses, and I'd love to talk with you about it in the chat. But this is some real deal gravy. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. I tried to ladle this with one of my buddies today, and he just stopped talking to me.
All right, what's going on?
Just let me think about where to start.
Well, he saw something. What is it?
I saw a virus. I think some kind of disease.
A virus? Like what? Like SARS?
I don't know. All I know is that it's highly infectious and it may be fatal. Right now, we could all be infected. If we take this outside, we risk the whole town.
Johnny, how big is this gonna get?
I don't know. We just have to do everything we can to stop this, starting right now, Walt.
He's right. All right, here's what's gonna happen. We need to make sure that everybody that's inside stays inside. I'm gonna get a few deputies on it. We'll call it a lockdown.
Lockdown?
Well, until I come
By
up.
the way, right now I'm reading the chat. You guys have no idea what you're about to see. People are like, people are already thinking this is gravy, and other people are probably like, oh, it's just your basic pandemic plot line. Just wait, watch.
Everybody that's inside
Just
stays
the beginning.
inside. I'm gonna get a few deputies on it. We'll call it a lockdown.
Lockdown?
Well, until I come up with something better.
Alt, no. No, you cannot lock the school doors with...
This is for your family's safety.
Will I get sick too?
By the way, that's the worst parenting. Just watch this really horrible, dramatic parenting.
Safety.
Will I get sick too?
Sorry for laughing. All right, continue.
Maybe we should wear masks.
What difference does it make? According to you, we've already been exposed. Let's get one thing straight, Mr. Smith. I'm responding to political pressure. You have no reason to...
By the way, it's about to get even more insane. Just know that the main character's name is Amy, and the man's last name is Smith. So, of course, that's already freaky for me, personally. But let's continue.
Scared. Let me ask you something, Amy. Animals. You've been around any animals in the backyard, even, let's say, a skunk, a raccoon? I'm going to swab the inside of your mouth with this little Q-tip, trying to get a handle on this animal. Damn efficient airborne transmission. Blood tests and swabs aren't telling us much. We know it acts like a virus. It causes high fever and respiratory distress. Tracking and treating a mysterious outbreak like this would take the CDC months.
We better get started then. Anyone who hasn't been exposed already needs to wear a mask.
China. Isn't that where flu viruses come from?
Yeah, a lot of viruses come from there.
International flight to China?
That's no coincidence. Whatever it is, it originated in China.
Time is not on our side.
It's like looking for a needle in a needle stack.
We have ruled out all the usual suspects. Influenza, SARS, bacterial pneumonia.
How long is it going to take?
Well, it took 34 days to isolate the coronavirus that caused SARS, and that's fast.
I'm authorizing a quarantine on everyone who's come in contact with a symptomatic person.
There's got to be something I can do.
On the enzyme, this virus leaves when they were
So the chloroquine.
malaria.
So the chloroquine.
Chloroquine.
This is it. This is your virus.
I'm sorry, but there's no cure for that. Chloroquine, that's an anti-malarial drug.
No. Listen, it suppresses the enzymes.
Welcome back, you damn fool.
What happened?
We started everyone on chloroquine, stopped the thing dead in its tracks. Now, the CDC would have figured it out eventually, but not in time.
All right, guys, if you want to be a doubter, go ahead. If you want to be like, this is so stupid. Dude, all right, so there's a virus where they lock it down. You have to wear a mask. That's from 2003. It's from China. It's the coronavirus, and the only cure is chloroquine. And the CDC is not in time. And chloroquine, okay, so the topic today is, oh, hey, buddy. What are you up to? What are you doing? You're doing a hammock? Nice, bud. Holy crap, yeah. That's from a show called The Dead Zone in 2003. You on the hammock? That sounds cool. He's doing it with his bare feet. Have fun, buddy. You good, pal? Watch out. Here comes Onyx the alpaca. Whoa. Look at that. All right, so anyway, I need that video. Well, you just got it here. I don't know what to tell you. You can find the video. It does, but by the way, it doesn't wake anyone up. That doesn't want to be woken up. Just let it go. Just enjoy the gravy at the Bear Saloon. I mean, we can show a video from by the way, this is not the interesting part of today's episode. Today's episode is called pre and post programming. The post programming is what I find the most interesting. I don't know how that happened. And the reason I don't think it's just a bunch of Masons in a lodge, getting off on it, is because I've done things that have turned out to be pre-programming and not known it. Gay Town was a series I wrote and produced and directed a bunch of the episodes for Sony Pictures in 2005. A lot of the things that I wrote and directed and there was nobody else. I mean, there was people working with me and stuff, but they were people I hired. I was the point man. And you can believe me or not believe me, I don't care. There was a straight pride parade in it. There was social and cultural shit. There's stuff in it that was so unbelievably foreshadowing to the future that I don't know how it happened. So I'm not one. I don't. Some of these things I'm sure there is. The lodge calls it in, but I don't know how this works. I don't know if art can predict, if people can be tapped into the ether. Is it collective unconscious? Do these things plant seeds? Because I know a lot of Hollywood writers, and a lot of them are just grasping. A lot of them are thieves. A lot of them will go to stand-up clubs. Like Family Guy is stealing a bunch of my bits. I know some of the writers too. I used to think they were my friends. And they would go to comedy clubs and just watch comics and write down funny jokes, and then you'd see it about 6 months later in a Family Guy episode. And so I don't know. I can't logically place the order of events. I don't know if this is what's in people's subconscious. Because now that I'm more aware of how a virus actually works and how nothing in that show makes any sense. Oh, flus come from China. Oh, chloroquine. Oh, that's 17 years ago that thing was made. And they weren't just sitting around chubbing up. Oh, are you guys chubbed out yet? Because we get off on tricking the goyim. There's a little element of that. I think it's a lot more short term than that. But I don't know how it works. It's also why they delete online videos, removing the evidence with data proof. Right. And the amount I've predicted from these streams is just unbelievable. I'm sure the real mean type truther people would probably be like, oh, he's a shield. He's an agent of... I clearly am not, and you don't need to believe me. You can believe me or not. I don't know how this thing works. But now we're about to get into something. Pandemic, yeah, but you can't make that call. I know about the Rockefeller plans, but what I just showed you is more crazy than Event 201 being planned out and all that stuff. That was the entire script of what we're facing right now in a forgettable Hollywood series from 2003. Now, if you think that there's people that just get off on it, I'm just not with you. I'm just not. I think that there's more going on. I think that people bring these things into reality with their consciousness. I think that how people view the world is how these things get carried out. Planned by who? Exactly. By who? Hilarious. They wrote it into being, see, that's the thing. I can't make these calls because one of the big logic fallacies that I always try to watch out for is timeline. It's like, which came first? And that's why the age-old which came first, the chicken or the egg, is so fascinating, because what came first is God. What came first is I am who am, breathing life into existence. Consciousness precedes all material. And so Which came first, the corona or the corona? I don't know. I really don't know how this all works. Yes, they wrote, then evil copied it. Evil has no creative ability. I agree, there's elements of that for sure. This is what I want to show you guys now. This is how I think commercials are the biggest element right now of programming, because the way programming works, and this is when things get nefarious. The pre-programming, I don't know how it works. I don't know how art interacts with reality. I have no idea. And I'm just, you're here because I'm honest. I'm not going to lie to you and say I have the answers on that. I don't. I'm just ladling and simmering the gravy for your dry biscuits. But this next part I do understand a little bit more. Programming requires you to not be aware that it's programming. As soon as you understand that the news isn't factually accurate, or you understand that Hollywood has agendas to make your kids want to be homos, it doesn't work, because you're now watching it like you watch a predator around your property. The way programming works is you have to view it as benign. Programming is benign. Language will program the way you see the world. You know, like if you go to Korea or another, that's why certain areas are easier to program and harder to program when it comes to gender and stuff. You know, the trans movement isn't going to work in Brazil or in Mexico nearly as much as it does in America, because they have a gender assigned to every noun. Like el oso, the bear, is masculine. La casa, la luna, that's a feminine object. So you can't introduce 50 genders to a group of people that view everything as either being masculine or feminine. So language itself will program the way you see the world. And then you go into places like Korea or other places where you have different tenses of noun based on your societal rank, you know, and people under other people don't criticize that person. That's why this one airline kept having all these crashes, because the co-pilot wasn't capable linguistically of criticizing the pilot. Fascinating stuff. French is the same thing, exactly. That's why English countries are the easiest to program. That's why you see Australia, England, America, Canada, Ireland. Like, you see, these countries are just ravaged by the SJW gender nonsense, because English is very, very easy to program people, because we see nouns without a gender. Now, it's a lot harder to do that in Italy, Spain, France. I mean, you'll still see elements of it, but not even close. That's why America, you'll see a much more fluid economic system, because we just say Mr. You know, Mr. Gates and Mr. Smith is the same Mr. You know, in many other languages, if you were to address Bill Gates or somebody above me in society with wealth or something, they would have a different prefix. You know, they would have a different word to say before their name, and that sets a very, like, mellow. English is ass backwards. Yes and no, because we also have more freedoms in our language, and we have way more words. Like, we have way more words than in Italian. You know, English has a lot of benefits. We're less societally stratified, because people are just called Mr. or Mrs. Or you know, in other languages, there's tons of levels of where do you rank. Like, what is your rank? And so when you're in that world, a lot of people don't dream as much. They don't imagine a world that could be. They're much more manufacturing based. That's why I bet certain elements of Mandarin and Cantonese equate better with following orders. I don't speak those languages, but I can guarantee you there is elements of that. And German is the language of engineering. The language of German is my brother-in-law is an engineer, and he is pursuing engineering full blown. He's legit. So we went over to Germany to study with some of these car engineer guys, and Switzerland. And so he's meeting with these guys, and he said that those teams were just better than the American teams, and a lot of it was because of their language. The German language is much better when describing engineering situations. There is a and like Latin is the best language for describing legalese, like describing a legal system. In Latin is a great way to do it. And so when describing gender, you know, all the romance languages, there's a masculine and a feminine. So you can't, you know, Bruce gender. Yes, in Chinese languages, identity is inseparable from actions. Right. And see, these are programs. So now, well, I think one of the biggest programming tools currently in the world is commercials, because you're under the false presumption that a commercial is to sell you a product, like a material product. That if you watch a Budweiser commercial, it's to get you to buy beer. No, it's completely not related. They're selling a way of life. They're selling programming. They're selling societal shifts. And the reason commercials are the most effective right now is because we're becoming more and more aware of the storylines of scripted reality shows, scripted, all this stuff. So it has to be in a place where you don't register what it's doing. So now it's time to watch what I find the most interesting, because this is being done to you. What I showed you from 2003 is just some simmering gravy. How does collective unconscious work? How does the artistic mind work? How do people's thoughts bring material reality into reality? How does God interact with our minds? How does the ether? I have no idea. These are fascinating things. But this I'm about to show you is when this is like Tavistock didn't work if you knew that the Beatles were created by Tavistock, or the Rolling Stones, or the Rolling Stone versus Beatles feud was all planned. If you knew that, those songs wouldn't have changed the way you view the world. You wouldn't have wanted to do LSD when you listen to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, because you would see the hand behind it. When the principal of the school tells you to do something, you're always like, all right. But when the cool kid tells you to do something, you're like, oh, cool. Now, if the cool kid is being controlled by the principal and you do not see that connection, that's when some real damage can be done. Now, let's watch something. This is about how all of the commercials, this is called Every COVID-19 Commercial is Exactly the Same. Enjoy the gravy. Did you see the gravy real quick? Hang on. Yeah, let me start that again. Because you have to understand, musically, it's all the same. Listen, somber piano music plays. It's all the same. Publix, I mean, you think you think that these are all competitors of each other. It's not. It's all the same. It's all the same. Somber piano. Budweiser stole the song I love.
When we first opened our doors.
Since 1926.
Since 1978.
For 60 years.
For 75 years.
For over 80 years.
In 90 years.
Over 100 years. Nationwide has been on your side.
Restaurants have always been there for you.
Nissan has been with you through thick and thin. We will do what we've always done.
Take care of people.
We're people.
People.
People. People.
People.
People. Family.
Family.
Family. Family.
Family. Family.
Family.
Family.
Family.
Families are families.
Families.
Even now. Especially now.
Especially now.
Right now.
Now more than ever.
More than ever.
Today, more than ever.
Today, more than ever.
In times like this.
At times like these.
During these difficult times.
In these troubled times.
Challenging times.
Trying times.
In these times of uncertainty.
During this time of great uncertainty.
During these uncertain times.
During these uncertain times.
At uncertain times.
In uncertain times. Uncertain times.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
This unprecedented moment in our history.
It's time of social distancing.
While things have slowed down.
As we turn more inside. While the doors may be closed.
While the distance between us has gotten bigger.
The more we stay apart.
We still find ways to stay close. Even when we're apart.
Even if we can't stand closer than 6 feet.
We can all stay connected to work, school, and most importantly, to each other.
There's still ways to touch each other.
All without leaving the comfort and safety of your home.
Without leaving the safety of your home.
From home.
Your home.
At home.
Home. Home. Home. Home.
Home. That's the key.
Buick and GMC are here to help.
Con Edison is here to help.
Here to help.
Our teams are here.
We are here.
We're here.
We're here.
Here for you.
Here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you. We're here for you.
We are here for you.
We'll be here for you.
Runnings is here for you.
We're still here for you.
we're with you. We're part of your community.
So you can trust us.
You can count on us.
And we'll get through this. Together.
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 Okay, so what you just witnessed is in fact nefarious. And what they're doing, and the spell it just got broken for as many people as just watched it here. You'll never see it the same way, because the presumption, the way magic trick works, is that the bunny's been in the hat the whole time, and you can't conceive of a hat with a trapdoor in the bottom and a mirror so you can't see it. As soon as you know the trick, you get angry. Your first instinct is, oh, that's all it was, that grabware magician. Why did I pay him all that money? There is no, someone, Talarian Bear said, this is dangerous for a democracy. There is no democracy. My theory about democracy, that's the live democracy, I don't think this is my theory, I could be totally wrong. I don't think they count who you voted for. They just tally if you vote or not. It's my theory. I just showed you. Okay, so many, think about how many times you'll see all the news broadcasts where it's the same words in every local news channel, right? So now you realize, oh, the news. Okay, commercials are identical. There is no independent competition between corporations. Doesn't exist. And you can hold on to that all you want, but it doesn't change reality. And so what you just witnessed is the new age of programming. The new age of programming is in commercials. That's why whenever you see me playing a YouTube clip and the commercial comes up first, I yell at it. It's how I treat vampires. Get out of here. You're not allowed in my home. I actively yell at the commercial. I say, no, you're a fool. I know that sounds crazy. I get it. I know things other people don't always know. People who vote look at these marks, think their opinion matters inside. You're consenting to their system. So you have a, hey, buddy. You having fun? Where are you going? Sounds good, pal. I'll be down here pretty soon. I can push you on the swing. I yell at commercials do it. Yeah, so this is fake news, a danger to our democracy from the news clips. There's no democracy, guys. Even if they count your votes, right now your vote is between a open, guys, look at what Biden has done. And now that Donald Trump has cucked and submitted to Bill Gates, you realize he doesn't have any power. So I'm not telling you what to do. You do what you do. I'm telling you what I have seen, because this is why I'm here every day. I'm here to ladle the gravy that I see in life. And this is going to be a tough one for people to understand. It's going to be really tough to admit to yourself, but it keeps getting easier and easier to see. It's like at this point, you're voting for the mouthpiece of Bill Gates, which is Donald Trump, or Joe Biden, who has made a hypocrite of everybody in the Democratic Party, right? So now you have, I don't have my phone on me, but Kyneton Bear has been doing some awesome stuff. Actually, I might have sent myself something. BB, we get it. Project Mockingbird exists on many levels. Right. Now, people are going to get mad at this stream. They're going to go, how dare you got to vote for the lesser of two evils. I don't care what you do. I mean, I do care, but I'm telling you how this works. Hang on a second. Did I send this to myself? 1 second. Uno segundo. To replay. I don't think I sent it to myself. But Coddington on Telegram. Coddington also on Telegram posted it. It's like, all these Democrats are like, Tara, we believe you. We believe your story about Joe Biden, but we still have to support Joe Biden because at least he's not Donald Trump. So he also said, let's see if Jordan Peterson tells Biden to step down now, right? Full circle, and with some space you see it for what it is. Like, look back at the 2000, man, I don't even remember. Was it 2004 election or 2000 between, I don't even remember. Okay, who's the right choice between Al Gore and George W. Bush? When you have a little distance, you can see that it's all absurd. It's like, so who's better? Al Gore rhythm? His name's Algorithm. Or George W. Bush? I mean, you now see that there is no democracy. And the people you're presented with are not, now that's heavy. It's not even heavy. We never had a democracy. We are a republic. We don't have, dude, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm here to talk about programming, okay? The same people in this chat that think that we have a competitive capitalistic marketplace. I just showed you how every single major corporation has just let out a commercial that has the same exact words, the same exact music, the same exact message. If one commercial said, just did a normal commercial without any of that, or just had different type of music, if there was a choice, you would see a difference in the commercial. There isn't. There is no choice out in that world. If there's a million choices in your life, it hurts. It hurts to accept this, but it's true. And you're going to hold on. You're going to hold on. Some of you will hold on, not all of you. Some. Democracy leads to oligarchy-driven false. You're right. The idea of democracy was completely programmed. It's total nonsense. Bot-mercial. There's no, it's like, well, the free market of the thing. You're seeing giant companies that are supposedly against each other telling you exactly the same thing every day. What are they programming us for? Compliance. But they don't, that's all it is. It's the same thing. We are your home. It's the collective unconscious. Here's when the next layer of gravy hits. The fact people can't see it. Like some people can see it. I can see it. A lot of you guys can see it. It's because they want it. And that's why I'm not mad at the government. That's why I'm not a call for an uprising. I don't care. Because it's not doing anything to you. Guys, I live a beautiful life. A lot of people in this chat live a beautiful life. You can be born, live, and die and not have to interact at all with a lot of these forces if you choose against it. You're going to have to get up before the sun rises and go to bed after it sets. You're going to have to be tight with your family and your neighbors. You're going to have to maintain relationships through hardship. You're going to have to choose life and each other and health and faith over fancy pants and lollipops. And if you do that, it doesn't matter. That's why I can sit here and not be a despair salesman. And as I'm telling you guys this, it's like, yeah, same as wearing the mask. They want it. You want to hide behind the net. Right. Dave Weiss is living in New York, and he can go into any grocery store he wants without a mask because he's printed up a bunch of cards that simply say, I have a pre-existing condition, and you can't ask me what that condition is legally. And he hands them to people, and they just go, okay, because he's not submitting to it. And the people that go, oh, but I guess I have to, they want to. Westside Bear is works at a company where he was told to wear a mask. He didn't. And now a lot of other people don't. That's all it is. Where do we get these cards? I don't know. Check out his app, Sun, Moon, and Stars. But it's just, guys, the people that want you to wear the mask don't exist. They exist. They have a divine spark. They're not, and I don't like NPCs and stuff like that. They've chosen to not exist in the real world. They've chosen to be puppeted by the collective unconscious corporate dead entity. And so just as go with the flow, like dead bodies on a river, if you simply just sway it the other way, they do not push back because they're not passionate about anything. They're just hiding. They're just going with the flow. So if someone says you have to wear the mask, just say, well, I have this card. And they go, okay, these are not the droids you're looking for. These are not the droids we're looking for. All right, you got me effed up thinking I'm going to carry a card so I cannot wear a mask. Just do your own thing, man. That's more retarded than me. Retard bear. Okay. I've been kicked out of my, guys, he lives in New York City. If you live outside of New York, I've never printed a card. No one asked me to wear a mask. I would never wear a mask. if you're living in Gotham in the goat pen, like Weiss, there's still ways around it. It's like walking the other direction and sea of retards, you'll stand out for good. Yeah, but there's so many of us, guys. There's millions of us. Millions. And there's all this fear porn to make you think that if you walk the other way, something happens to you. That's true. A million cops in New York City. Yeah, and a lot of them don't want to wear the mask either. You know, you're being framed. You're being programmed. And there's levels of program with the Richie from Boston and Alex Jones type that are telling you tyranny is coming. Tyranny is coming. Tyranny is coming. They're presenting it to you like they're your buddy. Like that they're trying to warn you. They're not. They're programming you into accepting tyranny. Okay? That's what their role is. I don't even think they know what they're doing. Like, but that they keep saying over and over again. If Alex Jones wanted to, Alex Jones is out of Austin, Texas. If he wanted to, he could easily just go to North Texas and no one would bother him. He lives in the liberal hellhole of Austin. He wears a mask. When he does stuff like say he's going to eat his neighbor's ass, he's doing it for attention. Alex Jones doesn't have the balls or the masculinity or the strength to simply not wear a mask in a grocery store. Oh yeah, Alex Jones wears a mask. Do you think I'm not pro-cannibalism, but do you think he's capable of killing and eating his neighbors? He's not strong enough, not that there's strength in that. He's not strong enough to walk into a Rite Aid without a mask on. When he talks about eating his neighbor's ass, he's lying. If I wear a mask, I'm going to steal things. Hello, Armenian Werewolf Bear. Did you see what I showed earlier? This is sad. You're in a timeout. Now, I'm almost going to ban you for life, Arwen. That's a timeout. Anybody who just says this is sad ever again. Guys, you got to hold me to my word now. I'm about to say something that I will stick to. If anybody ever says this is sad in my chat again, they will be banned. Not timeout, banned. I've said this many, many times. If you say this is sad, you will be banned. And you can come back. You just have to make a new screen name. Just the $3 punishment to make a new screen name should be enough to make you not act like an absolute baby, a crying, nagging little baby. Arwen, if you ever say that again, you will be banned. And you can come back. You just have to be Arwen 2.0. And when you come back, you can't do what Dimitri does and start with a new name. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Dimitri's fine. But you have to wear the scarlet letter of banning. Like what Lady QAnon Bear 3.3 does. It replace sad with motivating. Right, because it spreads like cancer. I've never felt more alive. Good for you, Crossbear. So again, you can come back, but you will have to pay $3. And then you'll have to be Arwen 2.0 so everybody knows that you're growing. It can be shameful or it can be a growth situation. No despair for the Bears. No, it's not 2.0 and then 3.3 and then 6.6 and then 9.11. Dimitri is here with a new name. I'll find him. I think I've identified him. But I'm not going to bring any attention to him. I know, listen, he sometimes ladles some gravy. He sometimes annoys the shit out of everybody. He doesn't get any special treatment. But, you know, little Dimitri just bounces around doing hilarious shit. I can't get enough of him. Yeah, I think someone has figured out who Dimitri is. Because I don't see people as their physical beauty or their wealth or their status or their titles. I see them as what they say in my chat. Do you understand how unbelievably how much insight you get when you live like me? No, I'm not trying to brag, but I can identify when people are new screen names based on how they talk. Because people are blinded by physical beauty, age, status, title, wealth. I see you only as how you talk. And so that's why this is such a bastion of crushing. Because so many people that are either that are put on the pedestal or the pit can come here and just be, it's a training dojo for like, let's see if you're a good person or not. And so it's a good place to be. Dimitri would be retard bear, love it. I'm not going to even say who I think he is. I think he may be President Putin. All right, what else we got for you guys? Groups are damned. I missed it already. Bastion of crushing. Yes. Because the best places, the best dojos are like, listen, it's like, oh, how dare you punch me in the face? Don't you know I work at I'm a clerk for Justice Kavanaugh? It's like, bang. How dare you? It's like, and those people love it. Those people love it here. They love getting banned because in life, nobody ever treats them like a normal person. And it's the same for people in the pit. It's like, you make a bunch of people laugh. It's like, how am I making people laugh? I'm like an out of work garbage man or whatever. It's like, because you're funny, motherfucker, you're funny. And that's reality. Dimitri will come back as DJ Clit Bear. Greek Orthodox Bear. Your mind's in the gutter. We got to get you, we got to clean you up. We got to clean you up a little bit. All right, Vlad Bear would be obvious. I think Trump has people here. I see him like say stuff that we say in here. How dare you? Dude, we get copied all the time. All right, you guys ready for some and that's one reason why I'm criticizing Trump, because Trump doesn't have my vote anymore. If someone just always has your vote, if you engage in a dysfunctional relationship, like no matter how much you cheat on me or beat me, I'll still be here. That's no good, right? No matter what Trump does, he is submitted to Bill Gates. Trump has not come through. And so if I was to be like, but he used to be funny on Twitter, you're in the pit. You're the woman that the guy is just squirting on all your friends, and there's nothing you do about it, so they're going to keep squirting. Not only will they keep squirting, they'll escalate the squirts. All they want is votes. They don't care who you vote for, Trump or Biden. I don't think they even count the votes, I swear to God. That's why they make it so close every time. I think they count how many total votes. How many people have bought into the reality show called the American political system? Now we have Joe Biden, who gropes little children on camera and has been accused of raping a bunch of chicks. By the way, I know one of his accusers. I know her personally. Fact. And this is real. BB, can you do a Biff Trunk movie breakdown? Maybe. I'm not a Trunk basher, though. I'm just saying I'm not engaging with Trunk anymore. BB, I might get fired from my job tonight for insubordination for a non-compliance for not wearing a mask, so I will work for food. Sweet. If you live in America in 2020, it shouldn't be like that. If you just go door to door and offer people to mow their lawn, you'll be able to work fine. It's not for food. You'll be able to get paid a lot of money. My brother literally with a pickup truck just would see a tree that needs to come down. Hey, your tree needs to come down. I'll do it for $500. Okay. When people are like, I'll work for food. Dude, it's not the Dust Bowl. You're LARPing. You're playing make-believe right now. Go get if you need help, I'll help you invest in a lawnmower. They're not that expensive. And just go door to door with flyers and just say, $50 I'll mow your lawn. It'll take you an hour. Cash. Literally, that's it. Do you know how many people, they can't get anyone to mow their lawn? I'm fortunate to have alpacas. I don't have the time anymore with all my animals and the live streaming and my family and everything to mow all these acres of land. So I'm very grateful that I have alpacas. There's a million people that if you just go, hey, do you need any help with anything? They'll go, you know what? By golly, yes. Here's $20, kid. Why don't you run? And instead, people are like, we'll work for food. I'm like, dude, it's America 2020. It's the richest group of people that have ever collected in an area with the least amount of crime or poverty, possibly in the history of the world. Like, forget it. Like, actually, like tribal living was probably much better, but it's so easy that people are wearing masks. The world is so easy right now that they're pretending they're in a plague. My son has 5 lawns. He's 13. He's crushing. Yeah, when I was 9, I was already like, between collecting cans and being a paper boy, I was already starting a stock account. When a 6'6" man holding a chainsaw knocks on your door, you give him $500. That's probably half his business. And if you can't move or something, fine, do something with your mind. I'll help you sort. I'll help you. You need me to run errands. Dude, that's why people are like, oh, the Mexicans, oh, the Muslims. Oh, do you mean the men that actually go door to door with flyers? The people that actually show up and work for a wage? Guys, the amount of masturbating and the amount of complaining that the Caucasian American and now the black women especially are getting so victim-y. Hey, Trunk, you give me my money, Trunk. It's like, just work. My brother, chainsaw, truck. He bought a bunch of acres of land with some of that. The people that actually make babies, yeah, the people that actually have families. I saw we had this little crew of dudes that were, vets, Caucasians. Now, I'm not a racist. No, racist doesn't even mean anything. Why? How the fuck is that spell still in my mind? Why would I even try to justify that? But I vehemently am against hiring foreigners to do work that American natives, people that are born here, from here, should be doing. Okay. The only people that seem to give a shit, like, we'll hire those people and then they stop. They're like, yeah, we quit. We don't do it anymore. It's like, are you serious? And then the only people are just these Mexicans. They're like, we will do it. It's like, yeah, no, we got OPEX. It's like, we can be there anytime you want. It's like, we have babies to feed. And the white guys are like, I'm just going to go back to masturbating in the basement. That was great. All right, how do you find a company that doesn't hire them? Well, that's why you pretty much have to do it yourself, or we have to change the culture. It's not about companies, it's about neighbors. I'll hire Ryan's daughters, who are like 12, to do our goats and stuff when we're out of town. You have to get around it, because companies are like, they're so, as I just showed you with that programming, they're gone, man. They're gone. You had a good bit about this in your Saranac Lake special. I don't work winters and don't drive, so you have to pick me up. Oh, yeah. The whites in Saranac Lake would be like, yeah, I don't work winters. I don't drive because of my DUIs. You got to pick me up. I don't have tools. And my lady may come by and freak out, but that's cool. And I obviously can't do hunting season. And you got to pay me in cash. And I don't have insurance. And it's like, and that's the go-to guy. Meanwhile, you'll just have 10 Mexicans we will do it any day, anytime. Pay us any amount of money. We need to work. And the whites are like, well, you can't do it when I'm watching, my favorite show. And listen, my chick might come by and just freak out. And there's a dude I owe money to. He may burn your house down. But other than that, I'm the best there is, One-Eyed Gary. And I'm like, ugh. That's one of the reasons I've gotten so good at doing stuff myself, is because I don't want to engage in migration business. And it's almost impossible not to, because the whites are like, listen, can't drive because I need to drink on the weekends. And sometimes I got to drive when I drink, if that's okay. And, I don't have my tools. You got to pick me up. And I only work Wednesdays and Saturdays, obviously not in hunting season. And, I may sue you. But whatever. This is going to be a great cartoon. Right, One-Eyed Square Boy. Yeah. Mexican just means mixed. I'm a DIY Mexican. It's about, I judge people more on their accent than I do their race. If a Mexican, quote unquote Mexican, someone of that lineage is like, oh, hey man, how you doing, big barrel? If someone's like, hello, man, I'm like, okay, I'm now a part of migration shit. It's not because you have browner skin or some shit. It's like, okay, we have a native population here. And if I keep paying money to this dude who's like, hey, me, I'm like, okay, that guy came here illegally. I'm now probably in some weird way, I'm supporting human trafficking, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if it's like a dude with browner skin who talks like he's from the area, that's a different story. If he's like, I come here, man, I have, man, I'm like, and it's about okay, I don't want to be a part of that world, because then he's going to be like, hola, cousin, we got many white people give us the money, come up here too. And they're like, oh, okay. And that's why there's migration. And that's why all these cuck neocon conservatives or a lot of you guys, a lot of people out there, we all see them. Not a lot of you guys get it, but like, they're like, we got to build a wall. Or you have to know how to cut your own fucking grass. Because every time there's a market, it's going to be filled. And the people that are like, man, I just got fired. What am I going to do? It's like, dude, if I wasn't a comedian, I'd probably make more money just going door to door with a freaking hatchet. Like, do you need me to hit anything with this? They're like, well, speak of the devil, there's a pedophile down the street that I need taken care of. It's like, the Mexicans don't snitch. No, a lot of them are frankly, they're just better people. Like, they're having children, they're working hard. They don't wear face masks. We don't have Mexicans where I live, though. Your Mexican has a little Chinaman in him. Yeah, it's just, in my mind, it's just called foreigner. I judge a Mexican by how many tattoos are on their face. It's a good rule of thumb. BB makes me throw my head back and laugh every day. Sweet, thank you. They're very family-oriented. Right, but we also have people that should be family-oriented. And not to toot my own horn, but I think I have been pretty inspiring to a lot of Native American people. And I don't mean basket makers. Although it's fine if they're around too, I mean, obviously. But it's like, do your own work. Have kids. Because if you just keep passing it downstream, you're going to be like, eventually they're going to be like, you're going to be in a Native, like American Indian camp. Like, you know how you see the tribal reservations? That's going to be filled with white people. And the Mexicans and the Muslims from the Middle East who work hard are going to be like, do we give these white people money? Or it's like, no, just send them pornos and meth. That'll do it for them. Guys, that's what happened to the American Indians. And it doesn't have to happen to you. But you have to be able to do the work. You have to be able to not just be like, But we get a casino. Yeah, they'll give us a casino and just be like, keep drinking. It's like, but we don't have a drinking problem. That's the American Indians. It's like, oh yeah, the pornos. Just keep piping it in. Keep piping it in. They just squirt in the basement. You know, it's like, you could easily be those Indians. In like 50 years, 100 years, there could be little camps filled with Richie from Boston just going, feed me, feed me. The best part is Mexicans are too expensive in Texas now. Now the cheap labor is Cubans and Venezuelans. Interesting. Yeah, Mexicans and Chinese, like the Chinese are like heading back. Dude, Wuhan, China is more technologically advanced and cleaner than any city in America. They're like, oh, we go home now. You guys, no, go. You know, they were rice paddy farmers 40 years ago, and now they're like way ahead of America. Oh, so you hate America? No, I'm one of America's many hopes for the future. Like, I'm literally projecting a way of life that can save America. Whites are going to be the new blacks in 50 years. They already are. I mean, they're definitely teetering on the new, you know, their rate of broken family. You know, the blacks, it's like, what, 12, 15% have married parents. Whites is under half now. It's like 35 or 40. And these are the same people that are like, at least we're not black people. I'm like, dude, you're black people from the 1970s. Just wait till you start taking Trump. You know, now they got Donald Trump. It's like the whites are seeing Trump. They're like, oh, Donald Trump is going to save us with all the free money from the government. Yeah, you're going to be put in little projects. And, you're the new blacks. Not me, obviously, but you guys. I'm trying to motivate you guys. I'm not trying to spiral you. Hey, Charlie, that's a sweet shirt. You got a truck on your shirt? That's why I'm teaching my kids to be like workers, like with their hands. The future isn't about being in cubicles. The future is about, you know, I want my kids to be like construction guys or plumbers or electricians. Why is Trunk so funny? I don't know, Tolarian Bear. At this pace, whites will be stealing bikes in 10 years. I think a lot faster than 10 years. But see, whites isn't a real thing. It's like certain whites, yeah, city sodomites. They're already there. They don't care about bikes, but they have their own little scams. I'm a little bit ahead on the new blacks curve. Nice, Papa J Bear. White is the new black. We're all, no, but I'm being pretty funny right now. There is no like, I'm just saying the beast doesn't care what color your skin is. They'll hire you. They'll get you in there. Be together at home. But see, here's the thing. The blacks, I think, could overtake the whites. Corporate designations generalized terms. I'm just watching a lot of blacks. There's not a lot of blacks where I live, but in general, a lot of them aren't wearing masks, and a lot of them know exactly what the government's up to. Because you can be pulled in by the beast for like generations and then grow out of that and be like, I'm not going to go down that path. Do you know how many blacks don't vote? And people are like, oh, they're so stupid. No, they saw them shoot. They saw this, they've been seeing this for a long time. You'll have to excuse my whiteness. Instead of whites, say colonizers. No. Whites are rolling dice in a corner of the Walmart parking lot. Hilarious. Orange trunk is the new black. Orange trunk, a black in a mask, I assume, was raised in a white family. Right. They don't have the same self-hatred in general. They have different self-hatred. You know, the machine can really customize. It's fascinating. All right, time to read some letters. You guys having a good time? The blacks have been onto the grab war since X. Exactly. That was the example I was going to use, is Malcolm X. Dude, and that's one reason why they don't want us comparing notes. And the Muslim has been onto the grab war since the 9th century, maybe. So that's why they don't let movie theaters, pornos, none of it. They're like, no. They're like, the women can't even drive, let alone go to a march. You know, and for a while it seemed so ignorant, but now I totally understand. It's like the subversion. They're like, they prefer others compared to whites because they buy more stuff. They don't hate your lack of, they don't care about your race. There's no, the machine and the government doesn't, they'll, if you got a heartbeat, they'll take you. All right, the language gravy was a new one for me. Fascinating. Thank you, Field Marshal Bear. All right, let's read some letters. All right, the blacks haven't been elevated above the whites, but the whites have been, yeah. The whites are, meh. But not us. That's why I don't like even talking like this, because I know what I'm saying. Some people might not, though. You're not the whites. You're not the blacks. Those are chess pieces on a giant thing for people who submit, for people who take the knee, for people who say, I'm out, control every aspect of my life, give me a mask, you know. So that's why there's no despair in what I'm saying, you know, because that's why the designations of like, oh, the white, but the general waves of this inside that B system of people that are like, I'm done, take me away. You know, I was talking about it last night. It's almost like a marathon, and the government is just a van with water with a little pea in it. And they're like, you need water? And they're like, no, I got my own water. It's like, all right, we're here. And then they're like, are you going to keep running? It's like, yeah, I'm going to keep running. It's like, hey, if you get tired, you know, we got a van. And then people are like, okay, I need your water. And then as you're drinking it, they're like, now you got to give us half your money. And there's a little piss in your water. It's like, why'd you do that? It's like, do you want the water or no? It's like, yeah, I do. It's like, well, drink it. It's like, okay. But did you have to pee in it? No, we didn't have to, but I mean, it's in there. I mean, you can always keep running the race. No, I'm tired. Okay. We'll sign you up for some nice programming and some high fructose corn syrup and some vaccines, and Anderson Cooper's going to tell you what's going on in the world, and it's time to go to sleep. Sleep. And they're like, yeah. So it's not like they force you into the van. They're like, want to get in the van? You're like, no. It's like, well, we're here. And that's why it's a necessary element, because that van shows you what happens when you stop running. And so you're like, I'm never going to stop running. Why? Does the van kill you? No, it's way worse. They give you water, but there's a little bit of piss in it. And then you have to listen to Anderson Cooper. Really? Why don't they just kill you? Because it's too easy to do that. You know, just keep running. That's literally how society works, though. It's necessary once you understand it. Yeah. Without that insanely accurate analogy, thank you, Tolarian Bear. It's just like, I'm gypsy, so I'll never stop running. Right. And that's all it is. And you can leave the van again. If you're in the van and you're like, man, this water sucks. And they're like, you can always leave the van. And you're like, you know what? I will. It's like, fine. And then you start running again. You're like, now I got to find my own water. They're like, we're still here. You want this water? It's like, No, I know not to have that water. And then if you draw a line in the sand, like no more piss water, you'll find your own water sources. And then you'll just see the van and they're like, water? And they're like, no. And if you say no enough, they just don't come back. Analogies are always on point. Thank you. Insanely, oh yeah. And that's why when people are like, they're coming. No, they're just there with the van. I mean, we'll feed you. Okay. There's a little pee in it though. That's all it is. Some people will find the taste of pee normal. Right, but then it just keeps escalating a little bit more and a little more. They're like, yeah, we put a little poop in there too. It's like, I thought it was just pee. No, it's a little worse now. Why? Because, you know, we only have so many vans and we're kind of running out of water. And there's a lot of people that want to be in this van, so we just put a little more piss in it. It's not going to kill you. It'll make you a little weaker, though. Well, I mean, I don't want to be weaker. You can always run. No. Just give me the pee-pee. The black friend is actually getting chased in people by cars. Right. All right. Dear Owen, I was reading more about alchemy and realized that we are in the midst of an alchemical process. Yeah, dude, I was thinking about alchemy too. I turn grain and grass into milk with the help of a goat every day. That's all alchemy is. It's like, think about how magical that is. I take grass and I put it in a mouth and then I get milk every day. All right, anyway. When you notice that, you change your relationship with the process. No longer the passive subject of the process, you can develop an active attitude actively directing the process. Oh yeah, buddy. When you've committed to running and not being in the van, the world just opens up. In the van, all you see is a dude with a water bottle with a little piss in it. And he's not having fun. He's drinking the piss water too. It's just he gets a little less piss in his because he works for the van company. And then the driver of the van, a little less piss. And then when you're in the, but see, every step of the way, you have to commit even more. Like when you leave, if you hold the warehouse of all the vans, you get even less piss in your water. But if you leave, you have to down an entire bottle of piss. So it's harder for them to leave, but they get a little less piss in their water. But at no point in the pyramid is there not piss in that water. Someone's pissing in that. Fact. It's just you're now becoming the house nigger, you know what I'm saying? So you get more privileges. But with every privilege, you have to give up something else. And that's why us field niggers, we'll get the house niggers. And we're like, house nigger. All right. Like for all of Donald Trump's alleged power, he has to submit to Bill Gates. I don't. Donald Trump has to say, listen to Bill Gates, we're going to have a vaccine. And all the Q-tards are like, this is how he's exposing them. You're not hearing the actual death count of people that panicked, suicide, addiction that's happening because of all this nonsense. Donald Trump is not exposing shit. We're exposing it. We are the Great Awakening. Donald Trump is just drinking piss. And I feel for the guy. I hope he stops drinking piss one day and says, you know, I'm not going to tell everyone to do what Bill Gates does. On a primal masculine level, real men look at that and go, Trunk, are you kidding me? Look, imagine if I fired up a live stream and said, you guys should do what Bill Gates says. Like, how would you feel about me? You'd be like, Big Bear, what the hell happened to you? And I'd be like, I'm just submitting to a guy that's more powerful than me. Trunk did that. These last few weeks, I'm not even mad at Trunk. I'm just looking at him like, holy shit, you have to submit to Gates? And Gates is like, oh, and Trunk's like, just do it. Just do what he says. I'm like, dude, Trump is just drinking piss. The field hands were healthier. Yes, dude. You never want to be in the big house. The field hands had access to fresh veggies, sunshine, intact families, and turpentine. All right. We got junk in our trunk. Dude, he doesn't affect you. You're more powerful than Trunk. I'm about to blow your mind, guys. You right now are more in control than Trunk. Oh, no, how dare you? He can, no. He can't do anything for himself. Think about that, guys. You can actually, I mean, I can't tweet anymore, obviously, but you can tweet for yourself. You can just tweet. You can just say shit. You can decide where you go and who you talk to. Trunk can't. Like, Trunk can't have an opinion that goes against Bill Gates. Everybody knows Bill Gates is a little wiener. Everybody aware of anything knows Bill Gates does not have your best interest in mind. He was sued by the United States government for fraud when he was just a computer businessman. He has no education whatsoever in medicine. He's a notorious scumbag. He gets browbeaten by his man wife. He sucks. And he's going to now he wants to inject heavy metals and swine parts into your body. Trunk has so little control over his life that he's like, do that. He's a captured entity. Exactly, Dave Walkerbear. Seriously, why is Trunk so hilarious? I don't ask questions. I just go with it. See, I submit to just what is. So I have no idea why Trunk is so funny to say Trunk. But it is. It gives me joy every time I say it. And he shoots pig urine into your children. Right. Guys, Bill Gates openly says he doesn't give his kids vaccines. This is all power because you get more power the more you reveal it. Like Joe Biden, in front of the entire world on C-SPAN, sexually abused little children. Like, you can watch the videos, guys. I used to do videos about it and show people a few years ago because I thought that would wake people up. No, it doesn't. The people that want to wake up, they do. The people that don't, they don't. I'm not here to be like, but look, because they're like, but at least he isn't Trunk. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to live my life. So Bill Gates, in interviews, says that he does not give his children vaccines. Why would he do that? Because it gives him even more power. Do you know how, there was this great scene in the movie with Denzel Washington called something in New York, or where he was this big mafia guy, this big drug pusher. And he shoots a guy in the head right in broad daylight. And he puts a little change in someone's cup. And no one said anything. That's the ultimate act of power. The ultimate act of power, I think it was either Caligula or Nero. He put a horse in the Senate because he's saying, look, you're still not going to do anything. Bill Gates says, I don't give my kids vaccines. American gangster, yeah. And you're still going to take it. That gives him even more power. Yeah, an American gangster, when he shoots a man in broad daylight, Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, did something legendary. He put a golden chalice right in the center of his village. And it was unguarded. And no one ever stole it. And he did it because it showed his power. That people were so terrified of him and they loved him so much. His people loved and feared him so much that he could leave a golden chalice right in the middle of the town square and nobody touched it. And the more that would go on, the more power he received. The oligarchs putting Biden in would be like a horse. But same with Trunk. Now that the spell of Trunk is wearing off me, he's a reality show host who paints his skin orange. Because his power is fading fast in my world. And I'm not mad at Trunk. Trunk is getting by. The fact he allowed his daughter to marry Jared Kushner, I think, is humiliating. I'm not mad at him. But it's like, in my